listening to the Smash Bros. Cast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. I got Crawler with me. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? It's Crawler coming at you.
It has been an exciting week for Smash. We got. How do you say this guy's name? Sephiroth.
I'm not a big Final Fantasy person, but I'm pretty sure it's Sephiroth.
Sephiroth. All right, I said it wrong on purpose, just because I'm sure some people just got triggered. You know. No, but it pretty exciting. That was at the Game Awards, and I mean, when do you think this character is launching? We're getting info on the 17th. I think it said December is when it said.
I mean, I would think it would be before the end of the year. Yeah, they tend not to tease something and not have it come out that month. So, I mean, I think traditionally we've gotten a lot of characters on Tuesdays. So I would foresee possibly the week of Christmas, maybe. What time is the thing on Thursday? Is it in the afternoon?
2 Pacific, yeah. So 5 Eastern.
Okay, I was gonna say if it was in the morning, because what character was it that it was? We got the info and it was out. It was Terry, I think. Wasn't Terry out like later that day?
I mean,
one of them in one of the in the season pass here has been teased, and then later that afternoon we got the updates. So I mean, I think this could possibly be something this weekend we could be playing it, or if at the very latest, I would think before New Year's. I mean, we would see it in December. So we're past what, by the time this goes out, we'll be halfway through the month. We'll be on day 14 or 15. So we're less than like 2 weeks away. So at the very latest, probably.
Yeah, which is crazy. So let's talk about the character, because I mean, for me, as soon as I saw, this long white-haired, creature ascending from the sky with a giant sword, I was like, well, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, for me personally, I could care less about this character. Like, it's not a character I'm gonna play. It's not a character I have any like nostalgia for or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I really feel like this character, especially for anybody that's been a PlayStation fan since Final Fantasy VII, they seem pretty stoked. I mean, some of the comments in chat were like, this is the new best character in the game, like.
Well, and it's also a good thing that we're getting a bad guy too. Like that's been another comment I've been seeing going around the internet, is like, we're finally getting a bad guy, because we haven't really had many bad guys as DLC. We have bad guys on the roster, but we're used to getting the hero type, so adding to the bad guy roster is always a good thing. And I think the bigger thing, especially since there's limited music for Cloud right now and from Final Fantasy, hopefully we get more music coming. Yeah,
exactly. That's the other thing I've seen a lot of. Now, one of the things I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to go through and I'm going to brush up on my history of this character, and then I want and with Cloud a little bit, and then I want to see, like, from my understanding, like from reading the Discord, like apparently Cloud's F Smash was different, or I don't know if they were showing Cloud's F Smash or if they were showing what's his name?
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth? Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to keep this as like an ongoing joke, by the way. Because as far as I'm concerned, Bowser's the best villain. Don't at me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But
they straighten that out in Wreck-It Ralph. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm a bad guy, but not a bad guy. So funny. But like, I want to know, because how many variants does Cloud have in this game? Like, I know there was like the Player 2 model, but his sword, which is called like
Buster Sword.
Is the one he was holding at the end of the trailer, is that even in Smash? Do you know what I'm talking about? It looks like it's carved out down the middle with like some teeth in it and stuff. And I was like, this isn't a sword that I've seen in Smash, yet he's holding it now in Smash. So like, I'm actually curious if there's the possibility that there were some updates made to Cloud in the Final Fantasy VII remake that is going to get incorporated into Smash now, just as a costume or skin. You know what I mean? Because
I was gonna say I have the remake. I've only played a little bit of it, but I don't. There are lots of other weapons you can have in the new Final Fantasy, the remake, that you can equip and stuff.
Mhm.
But I'm trying to go to this trailer here so I can see what you were talking about.
yeah, all good. It
But yeah, it's a lot. You can choose your weapon more, so it became more of a modern RPG a little bit than what it was originally on PlayStation 1. Just, I mean, it was also limited graphically, and at the end of the trailer it does say December 2020, so it is going to be
that's
month.
really, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It really should be with that date. But well, and maybe they're just going to give Cloud a few more swords.
I mean, and that would be cool in just, yeah, alternate costume looks for it. Yeah, that would be good, but canonically that doesn't fit well for his well, I guess in Final Fantasy you have a limit anyway, regardless of, yeah, all the characters have a limit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe I guess, yeah, that could be something they do.
It's just the one thing that really caught my eye about the trailer that I was like, because I'm not familiar with the game, with the series, I was like, what are we seeing right here? What does this represent? So I just didn't know. Did you get? It's near the end of the trailer where I think it's like after they like do that. They're Sephiroth and Cloud are standing next to each other, kind of. And
yeah, there's like 4 or 5 swords buried in the ground.
Yeah, kind of all over the place, right? And then he's holding a different one than the one he's typically holding in game. It seems like, anyway. I could be mistaken, but I mean, I played a handful of Clouds today, and
yeah, he has the Buster Sword, and then he does his ultimate smash, and then it goes and cuts. And yeah, a bunch of swords in the ground, and he picks up a different one because that's not the Buster Sword,
right?
So yeah, who knows?
It's a strange thing for them to add, like, but again, maybe I haven't played any of the remake, and maybe that's a sword from the remake, or
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll add it to the long list of games I need to actually get to on my PlayStation. It's one there that I played a little bit of, and yeah, I need to get back to it. I need better. I want to educate myself about all these different franchises, especially in Smash. And the remake it's very fun to play. They changed it up a little bit. It's the more action RPG, which is more what I like versus the turn-based RPG. But yeah, it's more of a franchise that a lot of people like, and a lot of people are excited for this character, so it should be good.
It's out of left field, right? But
I was not anticipating a already established franchise that is represented in Smash to come and get additional characters.
But he makes total sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he makes total sense, because to me, Smash is a love letter to gamers throughout history, right? And Steve hits that, although he's not necessarily like a character that people are really probably have a ton of nostalgia for. The game itself, they do, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're looking at Toon Link and Captain Falcon on the screen right now, and like both those characters are from beloved series that, I mean, one's turning 35 years old next year and one's turning 30 years old next year. And like,
and one's had a game recently and one hasn't had one in a really long time.
Yeah. And like 15 years probably. So,
I say was the last one on GameCube?
Yeah, it was GameCube, and I think you could actually take your memory card like to the arcade, so that gives you an idea of how old it was. But so it, I mean, I think it's great because again, although I have no nostalgia, I've got nothing towards this character. I don't even know who. Like as soon as I showed him, I'm like, who is this? I assumed Final Fantasy just based on the fact that Cloud was immediately talking. Right. I was like, okay, so it's probably, but especially with, and we were talking about it in I think I was talking about it on stream a little bit. Like, I'm actually curious if this character wasn't supposed to be out closer to the release of 7, potentially just to be on that hype train. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's also like, it's landing at a point where it's like there's probably people that are still have some of that hype from playing the game, waiting for the next chapter, and now it gives them the opportunity to play as this character, which I assume for the first time. If he's the villain, I'm assuming nobody's ever had a chance to play with him. And I think the other thing that's so unique, I mean, one, like I gasped when he stabbed Mario. I was like had a literal gasp. I was like, oh, what is happening right now? And then, I mean, the other thing about him is like, how unique is this character? Like a one-winged angel? Like I was like, how is this guy flying? What is going on? His ultimate smash or whatever, like, or final smash. I mean, it was like, if we even saw that, like he changed into some weird giant creature, and we've seen other characters do that. Like Bowser gets pretty massive on the screen and punches. I wish I hadn't seen that recently. I'm looking at you, anybody that's playing the quick play with final smashes on. Stop it.
But you had that?
Oh, dude, we'll talk about it. It's been bad. It's been bad. So. So I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I'm glad. I'm really glad this character's in the game, even though it has not like. And who knows? Maybe I'll play him. Maybe he will be really cool. But like, it's just not a. It's not a series that I have any kind of nostalgia for. And so,
I think we saw a glimpse of his stage in the trailer because there was a stage with like a lot of fire behind him, and that. I think that's going to be the stage we see.
Got you.
Potentially.
I think I have a feeling that Sakurai is going to be very excited about showing this character off too. I just have.
Well, yeah, he's such a historian of video games, and he talks about his time playing the game. So I'm sure he'll talk about having played the remake and his time with that this past summer and recently, and I'm sure he took lots of inspiration from it. I mean, because first off, we had Cloud, like Smash kind of got to do the first like nice like render of Cloud in 3D,
right? And
now Sakurai has more like reference material for this kind of stuff, so we could see something. I mean, pretty cool and how to life. Square Enix has brought this character to life as well.
Yeah, and that makes, again, kind of talking about what we were talking about earlier. Like, I wonder if we see an updated skin for or character model for Cloud as well. Because
it'll be interesting to read the patch notes on whatever day it comes out, and also, I mean, I'll be at work when the initial reveal goes out, but I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about after having watched that, because usually those are a good like 45-minute. Breakdown from Sakurai.
It seems like they get close to 30 45 minutes, which is really cool. I'm curious if we're gonna see another amiibo announcement. Which did you get all your pre-orders in?
I got my three pre-ordered. Best Buy, I think, on the back end did something weird and changed because I think they're coming out on March 26th or something like that.
Yeah.
But Best Buy did something weird, and I got a notification that they're going to be available on New Year's Day. So I'm sure they moved them to a placeholder date and said December 31st.
Oh,
and that's what prompted Best Buy to send me emails saying your release date has changed.
If you look at the email, it's 2021.
Okay. Okay. Still be ready New Year's Day.
Yeah.
New Year's Day 2022. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't read my email that closely.
Because I was like, well, what caught my attention first when I read the email, I was like, oh, whoops, I ordered 2 of Byleth. I didn't even mean to. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do a giveaway or something. But that's the other game I've gotten into recently is not Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem, and I've been playing that 30th anniversary game, and I'm actually really liking it. I'm like, it's crazy, but that's for another show.
I was say I got mine.
Yeah, I got it. Amazon did a great job of not putting anything in the box with mine, so the corners got trashed.
I will say this clear NES cartridge is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up opening mine too because of the box getting all messed up. But I think one of the things, kind of speaking of Fire Emblem, I think one of the gripes online is people were just kind of frustrated to see another sword character. But at the same time, I feel like this isn't going to be like a Marth clone. This isn't going to be.
No, but it is another sword fighter with a counter down B. So
yeah,
I mean it. But I think people are willing to the sentiment online is always no more sword fighters, and then you get somebody that you really want, and they're like, all right, one more sword fighter.
Right, exactly. I even played some Byleths on stream or on.
I've been seeing Byleths today
in quick play
the last week.
Yeah, and it's such an interesting character because you feel like you get hit about 4 times, and then you're like, I've been running around like chipping away at the health, and then I get hit like 4 times, and it's over. It can be frustrating at times, but yeah. So we will definitely we will be back next week, I'm sure, after the presentation, doing a quick show, talking about what we thought and our impressions of it. But there's actually some not so great news if you play Ultimate with your GameCube controller. So, did you see this about the dead zones?
I haven't.
So, what I believe what Nintendo has done is by trying to update or by trying to fix drift, and this is just my speculation, right? So there may be a more definitive answer, but basically what's happened, the dead zone has basically shrunk,
expanded, or I thought dead zones expanded.
Well,
so they don't drift.
So they've updated the controllers, right? It did fix the little bit of drift I had, but what has happened with the GameCube controller is, if you want to do a tilt attack, like if you use the C stick for your smash, your window to do that has decreased significantly. So if you don't use the C stick for your tilts, landing your tilt attacks is much more difficult now because they shrunk the window. I was watching some videos. You guys, if you want more details on this, jump into oh my goodness, he's bald with glasses, Melee player that came over to Smash. No, the older the older guy. I cannot. His name literally just completely escaped me. He does stuff. He was like the young phenom at the time in Melee. But
not. Are you talking Mewtwo King?
Yeah, there you go. I was just his name is just on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't remember it. So he put out a video really kind of going over, and a lot of Smashers did videos on this, but his in particular was one that I was like, man, this is really a bummer for people that play that style. Now, I'm not affected by it because I use my C stick for my tilts, and I don't remember. Do you do the same?
I have them set up. I feel like I'm such an aerial player. I hardly use my tilts. So
got it. Okay. Yeah. So keep that in mind. If you're listening to this and you're wondering, like, why are my tilts not hitting the way they used to? That's the reason. And you may want to consider switching over to the C stick,
your C sticks
as your tilt. And to be honest, I think there may be a few times that I've run into it with my smash attack, but I feel like I've been like on a misinput like spree lately. It's just been I think what's happening as I'm improving as a player and able to pick up on more of the nuances and more like I'm seeing a lot more of my faults and trying to to try to fix those things, like, and so what used to be just like, oh, normal gameplay, I'm like, no, that's not going to fly anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to fly,
especially as you're climbing the ladder and trying to get there.
Exactly. So anyway, check out just see if you need to change over to C stick as your tilt. It is what I recommend. For my play style, it is quite helpful.
It's a more guaranteed input. Even before this potential problem, it was a more guaranteed way to ensure you were hitting where you wanted, like you were doing the exact tilt you wanted to do. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about like our week in Smash. We've both had quite the ups and downs. I've started something new on YouTube. You guys, if you wanna check it out, I'm recording almost all of my Elite runs, or as I'm running to get into Elite, and just kind of documenting that journey. But I've started doing commentary over the top of it. So it was just gameplay before with no commentary, but and what I may do is just put out the full matches without commentary and then do an edit of a bunch of the matches together, because there's been some plays that I've pulled off that I'm like pretty proud of, like pretty stoked about, and then other things that I'm pretty frustrated by. So it's been good for me to go back and watch those things and kind of just just commentate on my own playing. It's weird to do, but I feel like it has helped me a lot to be able to see where my mistakes are made. And a lot of it happens, I mean, like you know when you make a mistake, or like not even necessarily an input error or something, but where you space yourself incorrectly and you're like, yep, that like, but then there's the flip side of it where you also get the read where you can have them space out incorrectly and then make them pay, right? So, yeah, but how's your week been?
It's also, it's like you said, it's been up and down. I think was it yesterday I messaged you that I hit like 6.6 mil, so I knew I was like getting close, and then proceeded to go just and throw that away, and I'm back down to sub 5 million.
I literally think we're like exactly the same right now. I'm either at 4.9 or 4.7. Like, basically, it's so funny. We get in the call and you're like, all right, I got to get one more match in, so I'm at 5 million before we play. And before I got in the call, I was like, all right, I got to win one more of these matches so I can be above 5 million before we get and do the show.
And I lost. I don't know about you, but I lost my match when I went in there with that mentality. But
I'm still sitting, like I said, at 4, I think at 4.9, but I hit like 6.2 or 6.3, or I can't remember the exact number, but it's the best I've done so far. Right. And every match, like, I just feel like I'm improving and trying to make fewer mistakes. And
man, Leo just spot dodged right there. Like, that is what I need to, that is one thing I want to work on so much more, is spot dodging.
I hear you. Are there any other things that you're picking up on as you've been going through this week?
There's some frustrating moves. I played a Piranha Plant today. I played there's a few other characters that just are infuriating when they have moves that don't stop, like Ganondorf has a move with his like drag demon punch or whatever it is. Like, even if you hit them, he'll continue to do it. Piranha Plant will still continue to do the I don't know if it's down B or whatever, where it shrinks back into the pot to.
I know you're talking about. You. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even if you hit it, it still does its move. It's just like there. I think that's one thing with quick play you get that is, it's hard to learn in the live arena, but like, you learn about these matchups that are tough. Like, Cloud is a tough matchup, I think, for Corrin, because it's those players that have priority on like their like Link has a strong priority on up air, and so does Cloud, and you just gotta know when you're in that losing situation and not engage and try to reset neutral and get back, find a way in. I've also found like I feel like I have my settings I think on battlefield configuration, but I can tell when some people like, and I'm okay with playing in without there are some characters where I have matchups that I don't want to have those platforms, but I feel like most of the time I come across people that have it on Omega configuration. It's to their advantage, like a Joker or something like that, and it definitely plays into it speaks louder to, I guess, competitive Smash and the whole striking and picking your stages and knowing what you're going against versus the online world where it's just kind of rolling the dice what you're going to get. And it sounds like you had even worse luck than I have if you've been playing people that have final smashes on and stuff. I only played one random arena this week, and it was Moray Tower, like the Splatoon towers, which actually the Ganondorf didn't really stand much of a chance when they were playing me like that. But
that's good. Yeah, interesting things like the charge meter for smash attack. I was like,
so it was the guaranteed smash attack.
Like, yeah.
At the
And so, I mean, I took it. I was like, okay, fine. I'll take advantage of this.
What is Mario's? Is it a giant fireball?
Yeah, it just kind of like swirls.
That's the thing. I don't even know.
Right?
Like, if I were to have it, I don't even know how to like. First off, how to engage it, and it's just neutral B, right?
You just have to hold down B, and it happens. But yeah, exactly. I was like, what is happening on the screen right now? And then like they'll have like. This is what happened today. Played a Luigi, beat him, and then rematched, and we're fighting on like little battlefield or whatever, and all of a sudden a hammer shows up on the stage, and I was like, the Donkey Kong hammer.
You can't hide from a hammer on little battlefield either.
No, and so I was like, and then I look. A smash ball shows up, and then he gets the smash ball, hits me, and then I noticed, oh, we only have 2 stocks, and it's set, and I was like, I got so like frustrated by it that, like I was like full on tilted, So I'm like whatever. Ended up rematched him again because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see. Sure enough, game back to my settings, and I beat him. And I was like, all right, that's enough of this noise. You know what I mean? Like it just got frustrating. So, but yeah, like it's mostly been, the stages have been fine, but I've been seeing like the charge,
the mixed rules kind of deal.
Yeah. And but here's the thing. When I play super late at night, like really late at night, most of the time when I do this before I go to bed, typically, I don't really run into it. Today is the first time in a long time that I played during the day, and I was like, I was like, you know what? I bet there's. Here's what I was actually thinking about is like how many of these people or kids jump into this thinking they're like, all right, we're gonna do some 1v1 Smash, and then it's like all these tryhards that are sweating to the oldies, and all these kids are like, "What is happening? Where do these people come from?" So I don't know. I got some good laughs at.
I'm sure if we changed our settings, the world would be completely different. That the online world that we see would be completely different.
Right, yeah. The people that we'd end up playing with all these items, and it would just be like, oh yeah. Little do we know, like everybody that's in Elite starts that way. They're like, yeah, this is just a larger pool of people that aren't sweating. It's a lot easier. Oh, if I stop recording, guys, you'll know why. If I stop recording the, no, I don't want to. Oh, we just saw two of the big characters.
This in essence is just a ditto. I mean,
pretty much, just one has a sword and one has a
one hits heavier than the other,
right?
A little bit.
So, but yeah, like I know for me, like I think I talked about the last time, like really focusing on neutral game a lot, right? And I still am. I'm most definitely doing that, but it's now it's more focusing on the dance, right? Like, not being so like willy-nilly just with how I'm running around, but with the movement trying to bait out, or not always bait out, but like watch what my opponent's doing. And before I go into every match, I like have this little mantra that I like just start in my mind. I'm like, okay, play safe. Don't just jump in. I mean, we played some crazy matches right before we started this. How many times did I come at you with my down air, which was like my bread and butter, what I mostly would do, and I would pay for it? How many times did that happen tonight? Not.
You hit into shield a few times, but you were quick to get out of it if you did.
Because
I know my guilty thing, and that I need to get away from because it's a long lag after I do it. Is the lance and actually following through on the dash. What
right.
I've been working on, and I think I probably did it a few times in our match, is if I set it and I'm looking for the hit and I don't land it and it's going to put me at a disadvantage, then I'm gonna down or up out of the lance, and it just puts me right back up in the air, and it's a lot faster to get going.
And so down just drops you to your feet, and up is like a jump, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, we were doing the dance. Like, I don't know how long.
And our second one that was our best match ended up with it being 159% versus 159%, and it was just who was gonna get the hit.
Yeah,
and we reset neutral like 4 times in that like one exchange right there at the very end.
It was wild. It was just, they were fun matches. Like, what's been great is the few times we played on stream, people are like, this is so fun to watch. Like, people love, because for us, I mean, it's literally like, what are we going on? Over almost 2 years, or over almost 3 years of 2.5 years of sparring now. So it's like, I'm sure there's people that would watch.
We know how we know how they're playing, and yeah,
exactly. But I really did feel like our games tonight were, I had to really work on trying to find an opening versus just like hoping that I would get in and then getting punished for it. There was a lot more I was a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? Just
it's nuanced, pretty much.
Yeah, and it was, I was very intentional with when I was going to try and go in and get a hit versus just trying to see if I could get something, get you to make a mistake or give me an opening, because it's those, like, your nairs are just nasty, right? There were a few times that I was like, oh, he misinputted and didn't get his nair right there, because it would have tagged me, and it's just funny that we've played so much that we can pick up those things, Yeah,
and if I can go nair to fair to up air, like I'm juggling you up there for a while if I can do it.
Exactly. And I mean there was literally at one point during the match that I watched you get my you had that read, because I wasn't.
It happened twice in a row. It was on you talking on your stage recovery.
Yes. Yep. And I was like, okay, I have to, like, I literally made the adjustment right after the second one. I was like, yeah, this is like, this isn't chance. Like, he's getting this read, So
what I was doing is I was lancing. I think we were on regular Battlefield, and I lanced underneath the far left platform where Josh was coming back up, and he would do a jump and clear all the way over that first platform and try to land in middle of the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just reversing lance with Corin and catching him like with the very tippy of my toe as he was coming in, and it was sending him all the way to the opposite side of the stage, and he was still out of
rinse and repeat. Yep, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, there's been times that my back air, if I throw the back air early enough, I go.
There's a window. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I try for it, but it happened twice, and I was like, okay, I got to work on how I'm recovering now. And so, but it's those kind of things that are happening on the fly that I haven't done as much as I've wanted to. And the other thing I'm telling myself when I go into my match is watch the opponent. Watch the opponent. I mean, we've talked about this at length, but what I feel like has happened, I feel like as a Smash player, we evolve. And I feel like I know my shortcomings. I know I still have combos I need to get better at. I know I still need to work on getting my final, like my some kind of a smash attack when they're at high percents, or get in there. I know all the things. I can pick them all apart. But watching my opponent and looking for the opportunities is one of the things I'm trying to do more than anything else right now, so that it doesn't matter if I know the matchup or not. I can see what this person's tendencies are and try to exploit them. I'm not at the point that that easily happens, right? It doesn't just easily happen overnight, but I feel like I feel like it's getting there, because I feel like really good Smash is somebody that knows their character, that is able to punish when the opportunity arises and do maximum damage, and then rinse and repeat that over and over again. And I feel like I don't quite have my combo game down to be able to get those punishes at max like I would like. And then because of that, it's a lot of just chipping away at the percent versus doing like 20 to 40% per punish. And I think I've started noticing I'll look at 60 seconds into a match, 30 seconds into a match, and there's a lot of times that I'm at a much higher percentage than my opponent, and then I'm constantly working backwards trying to get out of that. And so that's just some of the stuff that's kind of that I've really been focused on and really trying to help myself improve. But
and that guaranteed combo game is something that can help you. Like, if you're at a 60% disadvantage going into final stock and you take their stock, and a way to get them quickly up in percentage, then you can almost be at a neutral playing field there.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you feel like? What have been your big takeaways for you? I know you mentioned some of the stuff you think you should work on, but what are some of the things you feel like you've done right this last week that have helped you improve? That you see your improvement.
Like on that road to 6.5 or whatever I was, I think I played like 7 or 8 games and I didn't lose. Like, it was just straight wins. And I feel like a lot of it was I guess a lot of it was doing things I'm guilty of that put me at disadvantage. I wasn't attacking shield as much. I need to avoid my down air on top of somebody that can punish me. Like, there are specific characters that have, like I said, that they have a higher priority, and or they have like a high reaching, like Byleth. We were talking about facing a lot of Byleth this week. Byleth just up smash or up tilt, both I think reach a decent ways with like the whip a little bit. And so it's just knowing when you can take advantage of certain situations, and then just being strong. Like, I felt like I was strong, just like when I play you. It's like relying on the aerial, like the nair and the fair and the up air are like really strong with my character, and just relying on that to get a decent amount of damage. And then there was one match that I saved, like what I like to do a lot of times to finish off, if I get somebody off stage and I can predict their trajectory, is coming off stage with them and then up being as they try to jump over me. And I saved that for like the last last stock on one of my fights, and that was satisfying that it was something fresh and not able to be read. Because like I ended up winning one of my other matches against a hero, but I'd used that move quite a bit, and I think they used like, does Hero have a self-destruct where he just like obliterates himself?
Yeah.
They used that on me out when I was doing that, and I'm like, what just happened? I played a hero that like he knew his menus and knew how to go. That's the hardest part, I think, with that character, is like learning how to navigate those menus to select the 11 or 12 different B attacks that he has. That jump is ridiculous. They can recover from anywhere if they have the mana to do it. And if you find somebody that knows how to play hero, it's scary. But yeah, I mean, it's just playing. You need to play the game for your character, and kind of adapt to those matchups that you're facing, and the randomness that is if you're going to get in a battlefield or Omega or standard stage, and kind of just roll with the punches and play the game to the best of your character's advantage.
One of the things that you kind of hit on there is that like there's a lot of times like I was using my down air all the time. Like it was like my
that was your
like my fall
every
into
time.
my routine, just fall into my bad habits. It was my down air. And one of the things I did, we've talked about this before, but like if you go on YouTube, there's all these pros that have these videos that are called, like godlike Mario and godlike Corrin and godlike this, and and so you can just watch. And that's been a lot. Like I'll play my matches, and then before I like fall asleep some nights, I will just watch Dark Wizzy, or I think Anti has a good Mario, and there's a Prodigy, and I'll just watch, and like you don't ever see them attack with their like down air is used when it's gonna hit. They don't just willy-nilly like throw a bunch of down airs,
because that end move and I mean, I've been talking about it this episode, but like it's that end move lag that you get punished for,
right?
So that's why you see a lot of pros play that neutral game with the fairs and quicker attacks that you can recover from if you do make a mistake, and then you see them throw the smash or the stronger, like you'll never see somebody that's playing a character with a counter move or something like that throw a counter ever, just because if it's avoided, then it's leaving you so open,
right?
And it's like a crutch that I think a lot of us like to use as punishment. But I think the only time you'll see somebody do that is if like they're using it as a fall delay, something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just watching we've talked about this so many times on older episodes of the show, but like find somebody that is up there in the circuits of playing like professional Smash, and find somebody that plays your character, and just watch their gameplay.
Do you, and my point of all this is I really feel like within each character there's kind of their bread and butter moves. There's the you watched Link's Toon Link's Young Link. It's a barrage of projectiles, and then followed up with the fair, right? Like there's a handful of just real bread and butter, and I feel like your aerial game is kind of becoming the bread and butter with Corrin, where like I mean that Nair is a wall. Like I have to, especially with
circle,
you're protected on all sides, and so at that point it's like I've got to utilize fireballs, right? And try to look and get that opportunity to do damage. And that's the other thing that's always in the back of my mind. I mean, I feel like with Smash there's always like a million things that I want to work on, and just the approach game, right? And trying to get in and looking for those approaches. And I felt like in our very last game tonight, I was able to start getting in some more back airs but I feel like I had mixed things up and I wasn't throwing as many, and you weren't expecting them, and that's why I was able to get some of them to hit. But still trying to use the back airs to poke at shield or to approach with. But a lot of times when I see Mario's, they just run in and get their grab and get the combos started. You know, they just there's just running around, but like when he's a character that can dish a lot of punishment if you know what you're doing. And so yeah, we talked about a little bit like on stream or something, but I was like, I feel like Smash is like that unending boss fight, you know, like it's like you just like you're stuck on it as a kid or whatever, and you just keep trying to, and new opponents all the time, you know, like an Elite. Once we finally get there, that's going to be like the real boss fight, trying to stay in there
because everyone's cut their teeth with their character that they have there, and they know how to use them.
Right. So what's interesting is this is bleeding over into other games. I was playing a little bit of Halo today. I've been playing more Fortnite, and it's like I'm even looking at things like neutral game, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, am I just running out here and just, you know, playing aggressively and trying to you know, just assume my gun game is going to be enough versus the smart play that, you know, maybe I can attack safely,
the flank and the positioning, or the strength in numbers, or
exactly. And I played a match today, and it was a duos match, and there was 3 people left, and they had the high ground. The last person had the high ground, and so instead of sitting just on the ground shooting, even though I had gold weapons, and it was like, I'm gonna, you know, I could just sit here and do this. Belle was my partner, and she stayed low and just shot, and they just focused on her. I just ran up behind them. I shot them in the back. They didn't even have time to turn around, you know, and that was it. And so, it's just, it's transferring over into other things. And so, and I know early on when we would talk with like Peon and Avi and stuff, they would talk about like, their whole show is talking about how like Smash is like teaching them to be better people, and like just the different things they feel like they've learned from playing it. So overall, like how do you think next week's gonna go for you?
I mean, I'll probably climb back up, hopefully some more, and then I just maybe need to take, once I hit that threshold, like you were talking about this as well, is like I need to approach the 6 million point games the same as I do the 4 million, and and I mean that's totally true, and it's just, you know, that the opponents are like just what we talked about the, once we do get to Elite, those people are going to have not maybe even more, if not more of the knowledge of their character that you have of yours, and the same kind of confidence, and you just gotta get back to that game and play neutral and go to the bread and butter and know what works and play your way through it.
Yeah, it's exactly, I mean, that's what you got to do. I love watching these different I'm looking at the Discord chat right now, and the person playing Zelda was like, all right, I'm gonna try the third princess tonight, like you know. But I mean, yeah, I'm excited that, like, in spite of kind of the bad news that has been going through the Smash community, and with Melee and stuff like that, and Big House, I'm excited that we're getting a new character. I'm excited it's from a game that people hold near and dear, and it's. I kind of don't want to see the characters end. Honestly, I really want to see. I want to see a third fighter pass for this game, and you know, who knows? Fortnite's now rivaling Smash as far as some of the killer crossovers, getting Kratos and Master Chief, you know, like, so yeah, we'll see. But all right, what
if Sony's willing to dish out Kratos to Fortnite, maybe we'll see Kratos in Smash. You never know.
if there's a way for them to make money, and I mean, I think, I mean, it's one of those things. It's a win-win for both companies. I mean, I'm sure Square is going to be tweeting out about this character. It's going to be more, it's going to be good. Both of them are going to be marketing, and it's going to sell copies of Smash, and it's going to sell this character. And I have no idea how the license agreements work and all that, but
I'm going to say I don't know what the price is currently on the remake, but I think it was discounted over Black Friday, so I'm sure it's maybe still down around $30-$40. I'm sure copies of that will sell as well. There's
a good chance. So because I mean, as far as a marketing standpoint, I've never seen this character before, and now I'm kind of really intrigued just based on the trailer, and I feel like they did a good job with that trailer. Like, I did, like I said at the beginning, I did kind of like, I was like, oh, this is not a character I know anything about, whatever. But by the end of it, especially after Mario gets stabbed, I was paying attention. You know what I mean? Like, I was paying attention. So that giant sword, I mean, you've got Ganon or whatever with his giant sword as well. Like they're all gonna be out here just seeing who like, is this guy gonna be able to hit you like halfway across the stage with that thing? Like,
it seemed like in some of those clips that it was from a ways away, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. So I think we'll wrap it up here. Where can people find you?
The best spot to find me is hanging out in the Discord. Come ping me over there, and we'll play some Smash. And lots of other games. I know Josh and I are playing Fortnite and everything else that is Nintendo right now. So yeah, n64josh.com/Discord will get you the invite and come hang out. And then I need to tweet more, but because I promote my Twitter, but I never tweet anything.
Never tweet anything. Yeah.
Nightcrawler724 is my Twitter. Nightcrawlers without the E. Occasionally posting random thoughts on Mandalorian and excitement with all the Disney. I'm super excited for Disney and Marvel stuff that they had this last week. So it's going to be some good future years on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's great. That's great. I do want to remind everybody about our Smash League. We have we had a meeting last week, and we're getting more details about that. So make sure to come sign up. We have a new sign up sheet that has more. It just gives us. We're getting more information so that we can put teams together. It's looking like our coaches are going to be East Coast and West Coast, and it's not going to be a massive time commitment, but it's going to give you the opportunity to build, hopefully build some solid sparring partners, similar to what Crawler and I have been able to do over the last few years. And
but in truth, we're harvesting your data and selling it to somebody.
That's really what we're doing here. So it's just so you know, but yeah, so there is a new sign up sheet in the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. You guys can follow me everywhere at n64josh. And I think we're going to skip the tournament this month just because it's December and it's so crazy. Yeah. So, and we're going to be having the league is getting, like I said, it's getting going, and we're going to have crew battles maybe once a month or every 6 weeks or something. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.